$1 billion. That's how many searches Algolia does in just 5 seconds. 1 billion moments of intent, understood and fulfilled. I'm proud to say that Algolia is the market-leading AI search engine, the invisible layer that powers websites and applications across the globe. Whether it's Walgreens, PetSmart, iHeartRadio, Cars.com, Twilio, AllTrails, we serve more than 18,000 customers and millions of developers worldwide across many different industries. And when I say search, I'm not just talking about the search box. Yes, we power that. But more importantly, we power the whole flow of discovery, from when you browse a category, when you create a natural language query, and increasingly, when intelligent agents act on our behalf. Search has always been about understanding, and now it's about powering judgment too. Imagine this. The fall or autumn, it's almost upon us, and I ask my shopping assistant to buy me a pair of trousers, just like the ones I bought in June, except this time, I want them in a deep, rich autumn color. Instantly, it knows my size, my purchase history, my preferences, and it doesn't just show me options, it decides and acts and purchases for me. Alternatively, I could be catching up on my reading and engrossed in a great article on Hacker News, and I tell my personal reading assistant on my iPad, I'd like to read other articles like these ones that I've been reading on Hacker News recently. I'd like them to be thoughtful. I'm in particular interested about MCP, and I'd like them to be written in the style of the contributors that I've been looking at lately. Instantly, again, it knows my reading history. It understands the subtlety of what I mean by thoughtful, and it recognizes the cadence and rhythm of the contributor's voice. And it doesn't just flood me with thousands of, relevant or irrelevant articles. Instead, it uses judgment. It chooses for me. And it delivers me several articles I've never seen before. When I look at them, they're completely on point. Now, what I've just described isn't simple automation. It's the beginning of an agentic world, one where agents don't just complete routine tasks. They interpret, they curate, they discern, they exercise judgment, and they do it at scale, ultimately making our lives easier. To make this happen, though, it puts tremendous strain on the back-end systems. Think about those 5 seconds I started talking about a moment ago. How many searches do you think you could do if I got a stopwatch out in that time? 1, 2? Now imagine how many your agents could do. How many could they unleash? Thousands, millions? This is why speed matters. It's why scale matters. And it's why infrastructure matters. And this is why we build. At Algolia, we have always believed in meeting developers where you are. For some of you, it might be taking your first steps with our new Algolia Ask AI. For others, it's the sophistication of Agent Studio. For some of you pioneers out there, it might be leveraging our MCP server and grounding your data to make every experience meaningful. And today, it's more than just us humans searching. Agents are searching too. They're acting, and that changes everything. So developers, I know you know this. You don't need me to tell you, but this moment does belong to you. You're the architects of the experiences that will define how people shop, learn, explore, connect. You're the designers of trust at scale. Every single company today is in a race to become an AI company. It isn't optional. It's do or die. And AI is moving at such a pace, it feels almost unreal. What amazed us a year ago is pretty pedestrian and ordinary now, and perhaps part of our daily routines. That's why DevCon is so precious. It's a time capsule, a moment to pause, where we can share our vision as it stands today, knowing that with all humility, as opposed to hubris, that everything could change tomorrow. And our growing family of AI products is not just about search any longer. It's not just about discovery. It's about possibilities. It's about equipping you with the tools to create what has never existed before. And today you'll hear from customers, from developers like yourselves. You'll be able to share what you've built. You'll see what they have built, what they've experimented with. And often, it's not what we imagined at all. And that, frankly, is what excites us the most. Because possibilities are never fixed. They evolve with you. So, together, let's imagine what can happen in the next 5 seconds, and then let's go build it.
Thank you, Bernie, for that wonderful, wonderful kickoff to Algolia DevCon 2025. My job here is to keep the party going, and I am responsible for explaining the theme for our DevCon this year. So as you can see, it is AI from possibilities to production, and my hope is in the next 20 minutes or so, you'll kind of understand how that theme cuts through and ties every single one of our sessions and the entire conference together. That's how I'll know I've done a good job. So real quick, who am I? My name is Nick Vilku, and I am the VP of Product Growth here at Algolia. I'm a developer and builder by trade. Coded my first application, which was a bunch of simple if-else statements when I was a little kid on my Commodore 64 in BASIC. BASIC represent, quick BASIC, I think. And I love developer-first companies. I think from that point on, I just love working at places that cater to developers, build products to make developers better, and empower them. So that's why I'm very, very excited. And this is literally my favorite time of year. So I'm so glad and proud to be up here today to talk to you all. I was asked to do this keynote about 2 months ago. And I kind of knew what I was going to talk about, to be honest. I saw the theme already, but I didn't really know how to talk about it. I don't know if you've ever experienced that. You know what you want to say, you just don't know how to tell the story. And so one night, I just decided to go into the time machine and look back in time and get inspired. So first, I went through all the previous DevCons, and then I went all the way back in the Internet Archive to 2012, when Algolia was started. Did a bit of reading about the world back in 2012, which was a trip. And I think I landed on some way to tie this all together that I think is going to work. Hopefully you'll think so too. So with that, further ado, 2012 was interesting when I went back. Because a lot of the problems we're seeing today, those problems existed in 2012 for search generally. There were just so many options. You have to choose between, are you going to use your MySQL database, which you probably already have with full text search? Maybe pick up Apache Lucene or Solr with its really weird, API. Elasticsearch was a new thing, but it was like version 0.2, I think, at that point. And then you also even had Google in this space. But guess what? Google was selling that in 2012, which, cool as it is, it looks very cool, was a literal server that you would buy and you'd mount on your rack. And that's how you got search with Google for your website. And let's say you wanted a European version. Guess what? You buy a second one and you'd DHL it to Germany and you put it in your German rack. So many options just of what to do here. And they're all dramatically different. And then on top of that, you had a lot of choices in these options. And none of these were very obvious. Like, what lemmatizer are you going to use? What tokenizer are you going to use? What grammar? Just very, very hard questions. And this is before you even get to the actual product that you work on. They were very, very slow to implement, very slow to deploy. And then let's say 2012, you made the homepage a Slashdot, which is like the biggest thing. Not only does your site probably crash, but I guarantee you your search won't survive that kind of Slashdot traffic. So they were very hard to run because you couldn't horizontally scale them. You couldn't vertically scale them. You just basically had to hold on to your butts and make it work. And so in 2012, with all these problems, the founders of Algolia saw a moment where they had search expertise. And then they saw this SaaS thing was coming to be. Like SaaS was relatively new in 2012. And so they put their heads together, started a company, got some funding, and created Algolia. And so Algolia's job was to make search easy, but it was also to make discovery easy, which was such a harder problem that people didn't even bother to even think about it in 2012. All they were thinking about was search at that point. So they built this product, and they built it to be easy. They built it to scale with your business, and they built it with sensible defaults, both in how it looks, how it acts, and even how it ranks. And it was a success. We are here today because of this product's value prop, which is our core offering today. It's funny, real quick, before we jump into the next slide, this actually is Algolia's 2012 homepage. And you'll see on the homepage, I love that Gossip Girl is the top search result for that query. I don't know if there's just a Gossip Girl fan working on the design of that site back then, but there's something very 2012 coded of Gossip Girl being the literal middle of Algolia.com in 2012. I just think it's amazing. Now, search and discovery It's something we've been working on for a while, but it's not a solved problem. It will never be a solved problem. If you see some product or some vendor go up to you and go, hey, we've solved it, seriously, run for the hills. Because there is no solving this thing. It's asymptotic. At its best, it literally looks like you're reading your customer's mind because you're giving them exactly what they want, exactly when they want it in the context that they're interested in. This is very hard to do, but it is the holy grail. And so for the last decade plus, that's what we've been doing. We've been refining. We've been refining our rankers. We've been refining our machine learning. We've been adapting those knobs and dials. We've been exposing more of those knobs and dials to our customers who want to get deeper into the engine. And we've been giving them a lot of explainability and transparency into the opaque black box of Algolia so it doesn't feel black and opaque. We've also added new products. Discovery is more than search. There's opportunities here for browsing. There's also bringing the person in for the search, not just the index. So what is the, personalizing the search results for the human that's searching, giving them the right recommendations based on what they've, searched for recently or previously or clicked on. All of these things in the end combine into this umbrella phrasing of search and discovery. And we're on the bleeding edge. And the beautiful thing about building on top of Algolia is you get to be on the bleeding edge with us as we keep enhancing this product. In 2025, the story just continued. We released a ton of stuff. And this stuff really focused on the biggest opportunities at Algolia and the things we've seen our customers talk to us the most. They want to make it easier to get their data in. So we really focused heavily on getting data into the system. And a lot of these features do that. We've also focused on getting the search results to be more personalized and worked on our ranker to make our ranking better for what people, what a company wants to aspire, their goals, and also what a customer's goals are. And the best solution is one that overlaps both. We've also known that our customers' most precious value-added data is in Algolia. So we've also built a lot of functionality to make it easier to make your data better, to transform your data, to make it even better for searches. So a lot of these features here kind of fall in those buckets. And I think this is how we keep enhancing the system in the past year. Now, 2025 also is a big AI here. You might have heard of it. You might have heard that AI is a thing. And it's funny, when I look into the space, a lot of the 2012 problems, they're here. They're just maybe more vicious at times, and they're more extreme. So just in the back of this slide, you have to choose between closed and open. That's like step one. And, you have a ton of closed options. You have the Claudes of the world, the GPTs of the world, the Geminis of the world. On the open side, you have, the Llamas, the DeepSeeks, the tens of thousands of Hugging Face models. That alone is like, whoa. And then you have RAG, which begat tools, which begat MCPs. And if you go on vacation for a month, you've everything's changed. You also have security concerns, which are extreme, way worse than just normal keyword search in 2012 with a box and a rack. You have to worry about what the agents are going to do if they mutate data. You have to worry about hallucinations. Are they making stuff up? All of this stuff exists in 2025. So there's an opportunity here to also make this easy again. And that's what we're really good at. We're really good at making search and discovery easy. And so the story continues. And so you can see here's the features that we released, at least a subset of the features we released in 2025. For the rest of the keynote, I'm going to talk about 3 that will help you get to AI in production easily. And those are Agent Studio, our MCPs, and Ask AI. Those are let's get the idea of an AI into production ideas that we have. And so as I said before, we're search and discovery. This is just a part of search and discovery now. And we just need to keep making it better. But there's a big difference now versus 2012. In addition to this person looking for new stylish glasses, you also have that thing looking. And that's I've done this dry run like 100 times, and I can't get over that picture of like, is that robot creepy? Is it cute? I don't know. Why does it have a cell phone? It's a robot. Whatever. The whole point is, just don't look at it too hard. But the whole point of it is that they're starting to search more. We're starting to see agentic traffic into Algolia, and our customers are seeing that. On top of that, we're seeing the average query length increase because people are starting to learn and be trained to search differently. Instead of 2012 searching for gym shoes, they're now searching for running a marathon, it's going to rain, need gym shoes. We're starting to see queries like that. People are starting to try to talk to their search box. And so this is getting hard again, and it's getting hard to do right. And from our trillions of queries that we see, we're anticipating, because agents don't sleep, agents don't use cell phones like that one, so they type really fast. We're imagining in the near future, agents are gonna start doing more searches than humans. And so we're preparing for that world with some of the products that I mentioned earlier. One of the beautiful things, and one of the most amazing, fortunate things I get to benefit from working at Algolia and Growth, is I get to talk to a lot of customers all over the map. Big customers, small customers, WeWorks, megacorps. And I'll say one thing. Everybody wants AI. They might not know what they want, and some will admit to that, but they all feel like they need something with AI. They either see the billboards on the 101 if they're in San Francisco, or their boss is telling them, we need AI, or they played with ChatGPT, or Claude Desktop, or something themselves. And they're like, I see how this is useful. It's very obvious how it's useful. But we've also noticed that our customers have a very wide range of where they are, both as corporations and as the builders at those corporations. Some are, again, that at very early stage. Some of them already literally have built their own agentic platforms on top of LangChain, open source LangChain internally. So wide range, but everyone wants something, and they all have really good data in Algolia. So what do we do here? If you plot the spectrum of where developers and corporations are on like a simple x-axis, you have people on the left, which are very, very new, and you have people on the right that are like what I refer to as AI nativists. So these are either really big corporations that have large tech teams, or bleeding edge companies, or like small AI first companies that have started in the past year or two in a WeWork. That's the general gist of this. And so for that new to AI customer, the very first thing we want to do is find them a really quick and easy step into AI. How do they get to dip their toes into the water quickly and safely? And for that, I'd like to talk about Ask AI. So Algolia Ask AI lets you add a chatbot powered by your Algolia index quickly. And I mean quickly. From startup to production in 1 hour is what the slide says. We have a customer who did it in 28 minutes. They literally email password, signed in, used the self-service crawler, crawled the 260 so odd pages of their site, took our open source Ask AI JavaScript libraries, pointed Ask AI to that index with the default prompt, deployed that library, and then boom, Command K, keyword search, and Ask AI on their site. Kind of amazing to see how fast they went with this thing. And it is a really good way to get your feet, wet with AI very quickly, and it works with all Algolia indexes today. Then on the other extreme, it's that group that's like, we already host our own models, don't worry about it. We've actually distilled our own, and we also have an agentic platform. But Algolia has some of our absolute most valuable data. And for those people, we have the MCP ecosystem. So real quickly, MCPs are an open standard. They stand for Model Context Protocol. And the spec was written by Anthropic, one of the large AI frontier labs, but everyone's kind of adopted it at this point. And think of it as like, if you're a developer in Python, you talk to an API server that has API endpoints to get your job done. LLMs talk to an MCP server that have MCP tools to get their job done. And so that is essentially in a nutshell what an MCP is. And so we have a few of these for you already today. We have a TypeScript one. We have a Golang one. We're also working on new ones that are much more task-oriented and API mapping-oriented. And those are coming soon. But you can see here as an example in a screenshot, I have my Claude Desktop using the Algolia TypeScript MCP. And then I have it pointing to my indexes, and I can ask it questions like, give me the latest books. It's a sci-fi index. But you can also ask it to like draw graphs. Like, give me the last, search activity for the past month for a certain word. Or tell me how to make my index better. Can you tell me what attributes should be added? It can even do that for you. It is a very powerful piece of tech, and it is out there today. We had a customer who used it internally with an LLM. They wrote some code to have it make summer playlists. Really cool stuff here. And so now, you have one extreme, then you have the other, and then you have the middle. And so the middle are people who've implemented basic AI, and they just want more. And so what do we do with those people? And that's probably going to be most people. We have created Agent Studio for that group. And so what Agent Studio is it lets you build and we host agents on your behalf. These agents can integrate with those tools and MCP servers I mentioned earlier. And our goal is to make it easy for developers to build their own tools attached to their account, or pick from a grab bag of pre-built tools that they can bring into their agent. You can also customize your prompts. Ask AI lets you do this too. This can do this as well. You can detokenize. I don't know if you've ever done a mail merge. You can do that kind of detokenization of the prompt. So it will like write a custom prompt for each user. And you can also pick your model. So you can GPT-4o, GPT-5, maybe you're a Claude person, you can pick your model. And then you can even test it in your dashboard. So you don't even have to deploy anything. Write the prompt, pick the model, start talking on the right. And then change the prompt, start talking again. Refine, refine, refine. Ask AI does this too. Both of these can do this. But this is a really great way to get deeper into agents. You can even build asynchronous agents, not just chatbots with Agent Studio. An agent that will watch for an event and then do something and then possibly even inform something else. See something, do something, post on Slack. Agent Studio lets you do all this stuff. It's very, very cool. So the best part about all this is all these products feed into each other. So you have Ask AI. Ask AI uses or can use Agent Studio. And Agent Studio uses those MCPs I mentioned earlier as the tool to search Algolia. So not only do you get to use these things, but because we use these things internally ourselves, they're just going to keep getting better. They're going to handle the trillions of queries Algolia gets. They're going to just get more refined. Bugs will be fixed. So by using these things, you benefit because not only do we evolve based on your needs as the builders of our product, but we're also builders of it. We're truly drinking our champagne or eating our dog food here, which is a win for everyone. The other thing to keep in mind is we have a base principle for these products, which is basically an Algolia 2012 base principle, which is we want to make your lives easier. And so because of that, we do a few things. One, we're not prescriptive about the LLM you want to use. Bring it along, whatever LLM you want. We know many people are growing AI usage in their company and even their own skill set with it. So you can literally grow from one AI product to the next continuously. You also can be rest assured that your chats, agents, MCPs are all grounded by the data in your index. What that means is your likelihood of hallucination significantly decreases because if, let's say you're a retailer and someone goes to the employee handbook and asks, spilled coffee on my uniform, can I get a new one? It will start the response by searching your employee handbook Algolia index. So the odds of something false coming out are significantly lower, which is really valuable in this age of hallucination. So these are just some of the ways we're making your lives easier. And the best part about all this is all this is available right now. If you Alt-Tab, go to your Algolia dashboard, Agent Studio will be there. Ask AI will be there. If you go to our GitHub and go to github.com/Algolia, our open source TypeScript and our open source Golang libraries, these servers are open source as well. Ask AI is GA. Agent Studio is in public beta as we enhance it with more functionality on its road to GA. And those MCP servers are open source. So it's all available today. And it's all free. We don't charge for Ask AI. We don't charge for Agent Studio. We just charge for searches like we always do. And the records that you store in your Algolia index to make those searches possible. So go to town. Start playing with this stuff. It is really incredible. I also have one more thing, which, again, going back to the wired headphone 2012, mindset, conferences, keynotes love doing one more things. I know it's a little cringe in 2025 and no one does it anymore, but 2012, this was the thing to do. And so I do have one more thing to close us out. Over the past few years, we've had developers come up to us in our Discord directly to us through LinkedIn and say, hey, Nick, hey, Algolia, hey, Growth, I really wish I had access to this feature or this feature or this feature. Man, I really wish I had access to rules or, DRR or something like that. And we've been very, very cautious about releasing these features to the broader audience, simply because a lot of these features are very complex, very new, and it didn't meet the bar of really quick, easy, and then with advancement later. We worked very closely with our most demanding, largest, most extreme customers. Really stress test these features. Make sure they look like they do a good job. Make sure they're doing the right thing. Make sure they're not impossible to use. I think we've hit a point where we're pretty comfortable with this. So I'd like to introduce Grow Plus, which is our new pay-as-you-go, self-service, put in your credit card pricing plan. And its goal is to bring all of Algolia to developers worldwide. And so you'll have access to all the features. And it is live, just like those other things, right now, today, it exists. You can go to your dashboard if you're a Grow customer, and you can upgrade it to Grow Plus and play with more features. If you're not an Algolia customer, you can sign up today for a free tier build plan. Under 10,000 searches, you can go crazy with this thing. And it will give you this feature set as well. When you're ready to grow up and go to production beyond 10,000, upgrade to Grow Plus. I am so excited to not just release this pricing plan, but release all of this functionality to all of you in the room. I'm really, really interested to see what you all build, how you all react to it. So please let us know on Discord. Please tweet at us. Please reach out. I'm very, very excited to see what happens with this new pricing plan. And with that, thank you for your time. Thank you for being here. Welcome to DevCon 2025. I hope you all have a great day.